So today we are going to learn that how once the fetus is ready, how it is delivered, how the fetus comes out of the uterus. And this process is called parturition. So I'm sharing this screen. Parturition and lactation. This is the last topic of this chapter. Now, what is parturition? As I told you, it is the average duration of human pregnancy, that is about 9 months. And this is called gestation period. The average duration of human pregnancy is about 9 months, which is called the gestation period. This gestation period is different in different organisms. But for this chapter, we are concentrating on human reproduction. So the gestation period in human beings is 9 months. This is average. Vigorous contraction of the uterus. Now, if you remember when we were discussing about the female reproductive system anatomy, I told you that the uterus has got 3 layers. And out of these 3 layers, the endometrium, the myometrium, the middle layer, it is composed of smooth muscles. So basically this middle layer is undergoing the vigorous contraction when the fetus is ready, when the fetus is fully developed. So this vigorous contraction of the uterus at the end of pregnancy causes expulsion and then the delivery of the fetus. This process of delivery of the fetus, that is the childbirth, it is called parturition. So parturition is the term which means delivery of the fetus. Now these are the stages of parturition. This is placenta and this is vagina and cervix. Now when we were discussing about the anatomy of the female reproductive system, we were also discussing that this is called birth canal. This is also called birth canal. The cervix and the vagina. This canal is called the birth canal. Why? Because this is the canal from where the baby is expelled out. Birth is taking place. Now, this is the first stage. The first stage is cervix dilates. Dilates means it expands. And the parturition process is under the control of two systems. Two systems are regulating it. One is neural control and one is endocrine control. One is neural control and one is endocrine control. The neural control and endocrine control is there by which this parturition is taking place. So what happens, first of all, this cervix, it dilates and the amniotic sac. If you remember yesterday, I told you that there are extra embryonic layers surrounding the embryo. And in these extra embryonic layers, the innermost, like chorion. Chorion is what? The outermost, which sends the chorionic villi for the formation of placenta. And the innermost is called amnion. And this amnion layer, inside it is the amniotic fluid. And this whole structure with the amniotic fluid is called amniotic sac. So what happens? This amniotic sac ruptures. In local languages, it is called water bag fat. You must have heard this in the society, that when the lady is pregnant, she is experiencing the labor pains. The people say water bag fat. So water bag fat is what? Ruptured amniotic sac. And when this after the amniotic sac ruptures, the baby's head comes out. Baby emerges. The head comes out. And this all is because of the vigorous contractions in the smooth muscles of the uterus. And this contraction in the smooth muscles of the uterus is under the hormone from ovary, that is oxytocin. So oxytocin is the hormone which is released from the ovary, which is stimulating the contractions of these muscles of the uterus. And these contractions of the muscles of the uterus, they are stimulating pituitary to release more oxytocin. So it is like two-way. Oxytocin is stimulating contractions, and contractions is stimulating release of oxytocin. And then ultimately when the baby comes out, this is the umbilical cord which is following, and then the placenta. So at the time of delivery, the umbilical cord is being cut, baby is taken out, and then this placenta also comes out, because now there is no function of placenta in uterus of mother. So this placenta also comes out, and this umbilical cord is cut, the baby is taken out. So this process is called parturition. These are the different stages of parturition. Let's see the notes first. This parturition is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. Neuro is neural control and endocrine is hormonal control. So there is neural coordination, neural and chemical coordination, and this is called neuroendocrine mechanism, which is very complex. For 12th standard, you have to just remember the name of the hormone. If you are going for higher studies, then you will understand this mechanism. So parturition is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. The signals for parturition originate. Now how it starts? That when the fetus is fully developed, then the placenta induce mild uterine contractions. Slight contractions starts in the uterus, and these contractions are called fetal ejection reflex. Please remember these terms because these are very important 1-mark questions. Fetal ejection reflex. Now this fetal ejection reflex is what? The mild uterine contractions, which are originated in the uterus by, this is a signal that the fetus is fully developed. Now this triggers fetal ejection reflex and these mild contractions. This will trigger release of hormone oxytocin. Oxytocin from the maternal pituitary. So the pituitary starts releasing hormone oxytocin. Now this oxytocin hormone acts on the uterine muscles and causes a stronger. Previously the contractions were mild, and after the release of oxytocin, the contractions will become stronger and stronger. And these strong contractions will further stimulate pituitary to secrete oxytocin. So oxytocin acts on the uterine muscles and causes stronger uterine contractions, which in turn stimulate further secretion of oxytocin. The stimulatory reflex. Now this is called stimulatory reflex. This is going on between uterine contractions and oxytocin. This will continue, resulting in stronger and stronger contractions. This leads to expulsion of the baby out of the uterus through the birth canal, which we have just seen in that diagram. So this leads to the expulsion of the baby out of the uterus through the birth canal, and this is called parturition. Soon after the infant is delivered, the placenta is also expelled out of the uterus. As we have seen in that last diagram, I am going to show you that diagram once again. The umbilical cord is cut, the baby is out, and that is followed by the expulsion of placenta as well. So the placenta is also expelled out of the uterus. We have come back to this diagram once again. So we can now summarize the things. The fetus is fully developed. This will give the signal for contraction, mild contraction in the uterine wall. Now, these contractions will stimulate the pituitary to secrete oxytocin. Now, release of oxytocin will make these contractions stronger and stronger. Now, these stronger contractions again stimulate for the pituitary to release oxytocin. So, oxytocin is stimulating stronger contractions. Stronger contractions of uterus are stimulating release of oxytocin. So, this will keep on happening till the baby is out. And once the baby is out, this umbilical cord is cut, and this cord and placenta will also be expelled. And this all is under the neuroendocrine control. Endocrine control we have already seen, because oxytocin is hormone, and neural control as well. And the first mild contractions are called fetal ejection reflex. And the oxytocin and strong contractions, this is called stimulatory reflex. Now, in some ladies, if it becomes more difficult for the lady to give birth to the child, the labor pains are not very extensive. In that case, oxytocin is given through injections to the female, so that the contractions can be vigorous for the baby to come out. Now the next, once the parturition has taken place, this is again this is again a stimulation and a signal for the mammary glands to start producing milk. The mammary glands of the female undergo differentiation during pregnancy. They develop and start producing milk. The milk starts producing inside the mammary glands at the quite before the parturition, but the milk starts coming out after parturition, and this producing milk towards the end of the pregnancy is called lactation. Now, this lactation helps the mother in feeding the newly born. Now, after the birth, the milk produced during the initial few days of lactation is yellowish in color, not the white. And that yellowish thick fluid is called colostrum. In villages or in many families, it is believed that colostrum is a bad milk or dirty milk. So they take it out from the nipples of the mother, and once the white milk starts coming, they start feeding the child. But this is a myth. This colostrum is very important for the child because this colostrum contains antibodies, and these are very, very important for the child's resistance towards diseases. So it should be given to the child. This yellowish fluid should be fed to the child. The colostrum contains several antibodies. IgA is immunoglobulin A. So these antibodies are present in colostrum, which are absolutely essential to develop resistance for the newborn babies. So it should be given to the baby. It should not go waste. The colostrum should be given to the baby because it is very, very essential for the baby to develop resistance, because this colostrum contains antibodies. This is also another important question. Now, breastfeeding during initial period of infant growth is recommended by doctors for bringing up a healthy baby. The another myth which was prevalent, now most of the members of the society are aware, but earlier the myth which was prevalent in our society was that feeding a child destroys the figure of the mother, or the very influential and elite society ladies, they didn't want to give their milk to their babies, and they used to feed their babies with the tinned food which comes, the powdered milk. But it has been recommended that the breastfeeding should be done, and breastfeeding is good for the health of lady itself, because it has been found that if the lady is breastfeeding her children, the chances of breast cancers and other diseases are less. So this breastfeeding should be done, and this is recommended by doctors as well for bringing up a healthy baby. This is good for the health of the baby as well, because no milk, no powdered milk can be as nutritious as mother's milk. So the breastfeeding should be done in the initial period of, it should be done from up till 6 months. 6 months it should be there. So breastfeeding during initial period is recommended by doctors for bringing up a healthy baby. There are few ladies where it is not possible, maybe due to several other reasons. So in that case, you have no choice. But if the mother is producing good amount of milk, the milk should be given to the child. Breastfeeding should be done because it is good for the mother as well as for the child. So this is about lactation.